Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Okay, we are on the road and we are going. All right. What's going on, y'all? So we are talking about Mr. Obsidian. Shout out to Obsidian. And him speaking about FD Signifier and him saying he checked out some of FD's content and the back and forth between FD and BGS. Hi. The reason why my video is titled "Hi," I don't know. You know, FD spoke to Mr. Z, obviously. Um, yeah. So in this most recent, um, I guess, foray of FD into the Black Manosphere, he has spoken to me so far. I don't know if anyone can correct me. I don't know if he's spoken to Bernard Riley or anyone else in this most recent, you know, FD signifier explores the Black Manosphere. And so let's go through it. So Obsidian speaks to FD in a way. Well, I'm not saying that Obsidian literally spoke to FD. He speaks on why he thinks FD is here, maybe, and it seems as if FD's issue is that he just doesn't like how the Black Manosphere speaks about Black women. And essentially he's asking, what is your issue with the Black Manosphere? And it's about, it's how we quote unquote speak about and speak to Black women. Yes, right. So I would argue that FD thinks that you can address Black men's issues without actually speaking on Black women. And I would argue that's impossible. And this is, by the way, this is me somewhat responding to Obsidian and also speaking to FD. Much of Black women's advocacy or lack thereof, emphasis on the lack thereof, when it comes to concerning Black boys, it's because of Black women's issues with Black men, which stems from Black women's issues with themselves and what they see in the mirror. And the fact that they're not white women. Oops, god damn, Z, you went right there. I went right there. Right? So if we're gonna call a thing, oh boy, y'all excuse my background. And here we go with the loud sirens. For once, could Z just have a stream where I don't drop, I don't have a crazy loud background, right? I don't have to pause. Just one time, right? Okay, so we're back. So yeah, so I would argue that FD thinks that the Black Manosphere is not even just harsh. The Black Manosphere, and he said it right, we have Black men who hate Black women, and then we have Black men who think that Black women hate them. FD I don't think that he fully appreciates how many Black women operate kind of like the quote unquote founders. They're not really the founders, but that's neither here nor there for this conversation of BLM, right? Where they have some major issues with Black men, and they are perfectly okay with profiting off of Black men and not doing for Black men, straight Black men in particular. I think that FD plays down Black women's resentment at Black men for not being white women, or Black men not putting Black women in the political and social position of upper middle class and above white women. I think he thinks that's just a swirler, divester, boss girl feminism side of Black women. I think that he has not watched enough Kevin Samuels. I don't think FD signifies having this conversation with Black women in real life. Forget online. I think online and the internet expose this more, but then brothers like FD Signifier and much of, I would argue a lot of Black people would like to play down the way Black women comported themselves on the internet, on social media, right? So yeah. So I would ask them to have these conversations with black women and have it long enough for them not to just hide behind black men's colorism and black men's sexism and featureism and successful black men don't want black women, and then we're stuck with all these dusties, and that's always what they're going to say for the first forever, right? For the first 30 or so minutes. Dig deeper, have them talk long enough so that you can actually hear what the real issue is, and the real issue is that black men ain't make them upper middle class white women, right? I think FD is here, first of all, because there's nowhere else that black men get to speak this way. Nowhere else in the black community do black men actually get to air out their grievances with black women in any way they see fit, and actually have some of those grievances addressed without it coming back to it's all Jermaine's fault. Nowhere else in the black community. Everywhere else in the black community is eventually going to do one of those, but you know the real issue is you ain't go get a haircut this morning. What? You know the real issue is you ain't put the toilet seat down after you urinated. You know the real issue is your job. You know the real issue is you don't earn enough. You know the real issue is you're not industrious enough. You know the real issue is you're not degreed enough. The real issue is you don't have a degree at all. The real issue is you don't work out enough. The real issue is you can't lift enough. The real issue is you can't run fast enough. The real issue is you can't run long enough. The real issue is your sex game is garbage. The real issue is your penis is too small. The real issue is actually your sex is good and you're having it with too many women, right? If somehow, some way, oh yeah, the real issue is you're secretly gay. The real issue is you're too effeminate. The real issue is too much machismo. Some of these things contradict each other, doesn't matter, right? So the black manosphere is the one place that doesn't actually do that all the time in the black community. Find some way, if whether it's an educated black man or woman that's a black feminist, so find some um, intellectual way, 4 and 5 syllable way, verbose way, right? Polysyllabic way of intellectualizing their misandry, or whether you back in the hood, or whether you're around working class black people and they find a way of just black men ain't ish, right? And John Jones says FD hate black men too. I don't think FD hates black men. I know, crazy take. I don't think FD Signifier hates black men. I think FD Signifier, even though he claims that he's moved on from an intersectional feminist view of men and women, in this case it would be black men and black women, I think that that intersectional black feminist training is so ingrained in him that he does not know how to address black men. And this is a thing for most black people in the black community, black men and black women, straight, gay, it doesn't matter, lesbian, it doesn't matter. um the feminine, the anti-black misandry, the low-level contempt if you want to be kind, the high-level contempt if you want to be accurate, of the black community towards black men, straight black men in particular, is so ingrained in the majority of us that even when we want to do right by black boys and black men, our default is to first criticize them. It's to first insult them. It's to first belittle them. It's to first get on them, right? It's to first tell them how they're doing wrong. It's Klingon. Just like we speak about the Klingon mating ritual, it's the same thing in the black community. Before we can say anything that is going to help or do anything that is going to help black men, we first have to tell them how they're messing up. We can't help it. And by the way, that you're messing up might not even be real or accurate, right? We can't help it. And so the reason why my title is high, once again, is to first shout myself out because FD speaks to me first as a fellow and resident leftist. You know, so there's that. But also, I think he realizes I don't hate black women, but then his response would be, yeah, Z may not hate black women, but Z thinks that black women hate him, right? And as I said before, whether black women in general or a particular class or type of black women hate black men or not, the real issue is, once again, their advocacy or their lack thereof for black boys and black men. Because white society gave them the microphone, white racists, and because the money flows through black women, and because black women are the most educated in the black community, formally educated, mind you, in the black community. By the way, don't have a conversation with most of them outside of their particular field or training because, whoa, right? But because of that, what I'm saying is black women have mostly daddy issues and relationship issues with black women, in turn hurts black boys because black women then just leave the black boys out there to languish. They're the ones who actually push the black boys into the concubine class. They're the ones who don't know that their black boys are just as educated, if not more, than the black girls. Right? In other words, the black boys got to feel the pain because mama got an issue with daddy. That's what I'm saying. So mom does her darndest to keep dad away from mom. She makes sure that the black boys don't get the right training and education to be competitive. Now, whether that's on purpose or not, I'll let y'all decide that. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think FD hates black men. I think FD and his gynocratic training really underestimates what he's really up against when it comes to black women. Right? Even as learned and as educated as he is. Right? I think this full blue pill thing he's doing, and him, I think FD thinks he's being more calculated than he actually is. And that's not me playing down this brother's intelligence and his education. Right? I think FD is going to have to hit that wall at 1,000,000 miles an hour of black women saying, nigga, are you trying to, and I said it the way I meant it, and let me say it again, nigga, are you trying to do for black men and boys? I think he got to hit that wall for him to be like, oh, crap, that's what the black minister was talking about. Oh, so because y'all got an issue with these Negroes and sex and relationships and intimacy, oh, y'all just want them to languish as the concubine class. Once again, concuserfs. I think he got to hit that wall as hard as he got to hit that. You know what he got to come to the realization of? The same thing Roland Martin probably came to the realization of, even if he pretends like he didn't see it, with My Brother's Keeper and Obama. I think FD thinks it's a handful of black women, mainly, those boss girl feminist black women that move and think and feel like that. He got to hit that wall and be like, oh, wait a minute. This is way more than I thought. Once again, I'm not saying he don't kind of know. No, he got to get hit with, no, it's more than you think. So no, I don't think he hates black men. I think he has 2 black boys. I know he has a brother who he indicated went through something or is still going through something with child support and a baby's mom or maybe an ex-wife or something like that, I don't think FD hates black men. I think FD severely underestimates what he's dealing with the position that black women find themselves in and how they want to keep this power, and they're willing to sacrifice their boys and then in turn most of their girls to this ill-gotten power that they got from pretty much white racist people. And I think he severely underestimates what he's dealing with. That's what I put it as. Right? So I think FD listens in and snoops in and has conversations with us because he wants us to tamp down. He's here to tone police us, number one. Because FD himself said it, and I think he was being genuine and honest. You know, he knows for the most part the black manosphere is not going to go nowhere because there needs to be an outlet for black men. Right? So he said the same thing that Ace Metaphor said to Obsidian. But much like what Ace Metaphor said to Obsidian, it's about tone policing us. We're being a little too harsh. We're being a little y'all. Do y'all realize who y'all talking about? Y'all are talking about black women who out the gate said don't tone police us. Y'all are talking about black women who, when Kevin Samuels died, danced on Kevin Samuels' grave and told black men, I dare y'all, and not, excuse me, rewind, told the rest of society, that's everyone, I dare y'all to try to check us. Hell no. We feel slighted by this man and we're going to dance on his grave and I want somebody to say something about it. That's who y'all talking about. That y'all want us to tone police ourselves for. Y'all talking about black women that danced on Kobe Bryant's grave. Right? Just because he wasn't married to a black woman. Right? That's what y'all talking about. Right? Huh. You're speaking about black women going back to really about the late 60s, really the 70s, who aligned with white women to get black men out the paint. White racist feminists to get black men out the paint. That's what y'all are talking about. Right? Huh. That's who you want us to tone police ourselves for. So FD is here. He listens in occasionally, right? Because FD doesn't want, wait for it, when Black Uru proposes. I want y'all to understand, the brother is not dumb by a long shot. FD doesn't want what Black Uru is proposing to actually happen because he knows that's it. That doesn't mean that black men don't still get married to black women like Black Uru says. That doesn't mean that black men don't still have black children. That doesn't mean any of that. What it means is that that's the end of the black community in a particular way as we know it. If black women can no longer use the death of black men as a political tool for their advancement, do you understand what that means for black women? If black women can no longer use mass incarceration, if they can no longer use the death of black men by the hands of the state, racist, right? Do you understand what that means? FD knows what that means. Right? And John Jones, thank you for the super chat. He said he need a nigga moment, a Negro wake up call moment. Right? I can't disagree. Dick enforcement and customs enforcement. Shout out to Ed. Yeah. But these people know These people know, they know, they know, they know. FD is not dumb, right? Now, what I think is interesting is when I say things to FD, like when I said, the way black men are treated in the black community is like they're defective black women and defective white men at the same time, right? And he's never considered that. They're like, to me, there's a lot, like, brother, it's funny that you say we need to touch grass and we need to get out of our bubbles and we need to, essentially get off of social media and whatnot, and black women are not these people, bro. The fact that you've never considered that. Once again, are you sure we're in our bubbles? The fact that, and you played it down, and you kind of, it was kind of weird how you said it because that's not exactly how I was saying it, but cool. Um, that what Little Bill said and what I said, which is like black women that, oh, I'm gonna go get me a white man and da 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 da, and then you said, well, and you didn't say my name, but cool. That I said, so you didn't experience that, and you're like, no, I didn't. Yeah, but go ask black men how many of them did. How black women, rhetorically at least, because we know they can't do it in real life, rhetorically levy the potential for them to get non-black relationships. Let's be honest, interracial sex. They levy that against black men, which is not smart because if you check that interracial marriage rate, one of us could really make it happen, right? So FD, I would argue his fear and much of the black left's fear is that, divorce of black men and black women politically. I think he is here because brothers like Obsidian, brothers like Angry Man, brothers like BGS, right? Brothers like that, to him, pose a threat. And remember what he brought up about the Black Panthers. He's just trying to, kind of recreate, what happened with the Black Panthers. You recall him saying that when I spoke to him last. Huh. And exactly what did black women do after that with black men? God damn, Z. You mean the same black women that were Black Panthers and then turned around and said black men talk black and sleep white when they were the ones over here getting piped down by white dudes? Yikes. And doing their whole same-sex loving thing? Yikes. And going into academia and finding really verbose ways of saying black men ain't ish and intellectual ways of saying black men ain't ish? You mean those same Black Panther black women? Uh-oh. Huh. I don't know if that was the example you wanted to use. And Eric Demon says, "What is Black Uru suggesting? Essentially, political divorce between black men and black women that already exist, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you don't still marry black women or have sex with black women, have children with black women, that you move out the black community, like like Chrissy was suggesting, and stay the hell away from black women. And when you see a black woman walking towards you, on the sidewalk, you run across the street like you're a white person. No, that is not what Black Uru is suggesting. But he's suggesting to formally separate black men from black women so that we can finally do something for black men and black boys that black women and racist white society doesn't inevitably give 95%, 90%, 85% of whatever this thing is to black women and girls. Once again, BLM, a whole lot of straight dead black men, but you got three queer black women who are the head of this and who are benefiting from this in a vacuum. Yes, this part too. And Compassionate says, Z, he's over here so he can try and stay ahead of our narrative as it spreads. He's basically a spy. I would agree with this, right? So, and I actually thank you for reminding me of this because I said this like a few nights ago, right? So, I think what Compassionate said is 100% correct, and it's FD getting a hold of your nephew before you do. It's FD getting a hold of your younger cousin before you do, and him essentially saying, "Oh yeah, your uncle said he listening right to Obsidian, or he used to listen to Kevin, you know, or he listened to some guy named BGS, right? Yeah, your uncle, he's kind of weird. He's kind of sexist. He's misogynistic, right? He hates black women, or he's so delusional. He watched so much divester content that he thinks black women hate him, and it's not. Black women don't hate black men, right? So it's him using the fact that he has all of these subscribers and his subscriber base is growing, and it's growing really quickly. It's his way of listening into us and running ahead of us to say, the British are coming. No, running ahead of us to say, look, the black manosphere, that's full of toxic black men who watch way too much stuff on social media and are exaggerating and overplaying this divester and swirler content, and they really need to go outside because black women do not have these type of issues with black men in real life. And what I say to that is, until these black boys, and this is why he got mad at me when I mentioned his sons, because he knew what I was trying to get at. Until these black boys date these black girls in real life, right? And shout out to Toya the Tutor. And I caught a little bit of your stream earlier on the Roger. Shout out to the Roger Report on Roger's channel. And yeah, shout out to Toya and shout out to you for your accountability and your how honest you were. Shout out to you. Right? Exactly, line. Yes, because social media have no influence on relationships today. Play stupid if you want, bro. It really is. Even okay. It was very interesting watching how certain women would frame. And you notice there's a theme going on Mr. Z's channel with this framing thing, right? So yeah, yeah, y'all got it right. Y'all got it right. If y'all catching on to the theme of the framing theme, right? It was very interesting how certain women would frame these conversations that Kevin would have with these women, and the way they would frame it is that it's a certain type of woman. Now, yes, they would acknowledge that some of these women are educated. They would acknowledge the PhD. I'm a PhD drop because that was a real conversation that Kevin had. But they would frame it like it's a certain type of woman. This is not a black woman thing. This is a certain type of black woman. Now, when you would remind him, mind you, Mr. Z had real, not a real conversations with real black women in real life. Did you hear me, FD Signifier? About Kevin, right? Now we watched other interviews with black women where brothers would talk to black women about Kevin Samuels and the women that would show up. And the way they would frame it is the same way that Mr. Z, when he would have these conversations with sometimes even married black women, you heard right, what they would say is, first of all, they would question whether Kevin was paying these women to come on because they kept on, for them, there was a theme, this ballerific theme, this I need a man to be this type of man, this type of man of means, extravagant means, right? So once again, you have to FD's credit, the boss girl feminists, right? all the way. And this is what Mr. Z says. It doesn't matter and y'all have heard me say this. It doesn't matter her education level. So once again, whether she's educated or not, it doesn't matter if she's light skinned or dark skinned. It doesn't matter if she has 4C curls or not. It doesn't matter if she lives on the East Coast or West Coast, the Midwest, the South, right? The Northern Midwest, right? It doesn't matter if she is foreign or ADOS, right? None of that matters. What matters is the lifestyle. The only thing that Kevin truly exposed, and shout out to Kevin, if you really want to say the women exposed about themselves, all Kevin did was put a microphone and a camera up, is how many of them want this. And what brothers like FD refuse to admit, I didn't say acknowledge because he know it's true, is, and that, by the way, that's why Leon sent the clip to BGS, and that's why BGS played the clip of FD Signifier speaking to T Noir, because FD knows it's a thing. With Kevin just having a microphone and a camera up allowed for black women to expose, is how many of them are willing to sit on their hands, willing to destroy marriages, willing to destroy relationships, willing to break up with pretty okay black men. What Kevin showed and had these black women expose about themselves are how many of them that's what it is. It's this lifestyle or nothing. And how many of them, and shout out to whoever it was that, and I gotta go back because I reference it all the time. Whoever that black woman was, not years ago, but months ago, it was still this year, it was earlier this year, who was on Obsidian channel when Obsidian was reviewing Kim Foster one time. And I want to say it was a middle-aged sister, got onto Obsidian's show, and she used the lead attorney as the man, right? That man, the man that many of these women aspire to. And she said, women will get married, women will have children, some women will stay single, but for them, it's the lead attorney, and they will destroy marriages, they will destroy their relationship if they could get him. If they can't, they will get married, they will have children, but they will always hold out the hope that they could end up with a lead attorney. And the reason why they treat their men the way they do, talk crazy to him, is because they resent being with him. And I'm paraphrasing, I might be adding extra, just a little bit, because they want the lead attorney, right? And Kevin having a microphone up and a camera up and allowing black women in general in America, because as a matter of fact, it was just women from all over the place, right? From all over the planet. But once again, it was mainly black women from America, by far. When Kevin put that microphone and that camera up, that's all you heard black women say. That's all you heard black women say. And shout out to whoever that lady was who just came out and said it. Calvin Rogers, that's all I'm saying. Thank you. Right? Mr. G just spent 5 minutes pretty much just saying what Calvin said in 4 words. They told on themselves. Right? And Detroit said, was it Maggie? I don't know. I don't recall what her name was. But it sounded like a middle-aged woman, and she used lead attorney as the pinnacle, right, of this kind of man hierarchy thing. Right? So what I'm saying is I think FD and shout out to Leon once again for sending that clip to BGS, and to me, but sending that clip to BGS, and shout out to BGS for actually playing that clip. FD admitted, and T Noir, by the way, admitted also by kind of giving a head nod. So that's a black man and a black woman admitting they're not going to say nothing to the women. Right? In other words, what FD said, for those of you that never caught the clip that I'm referring to, FD said, what am I supposed to tell a woman, a black woman, who goes to school, get her education, get her money up, and she checks off all of these things on the list, and the last thing to check off is a man, but a particular type of man. And FD says, this is patriarchy. I'm gonna leave that. That's an argument for another day. We're gonna leave that one. This is patriarchy, and how am I supposed to tell her this is patriarchy? So I'm paraphrasing, but this is essentially what FD is saying. And T Noir nods her head, yeah. Essentially, both of them are saying, yeah, who gonna tell her? Right? So, yeah. Irvin Reed said lead attorney was the 666 example. Yes, yes. Right? So what I'm saying is FD admits that he's not gonna say nothing, and T Noir pretty much admits that she ain't gonna say nothing neither. But I'm tying all of that to say compassionate is right. FD is trying to do end run and run ahead of us to pretty much make us look like the weirdo uncles and the weirdo cousins. But also to say it's to tell us to tone it down a bit, right? FD has, I would argue, has a problem with BGS. First of all, because he sees BGS as being like this grand master, right? Moving pawns around on the chessboard. Number one. Once again, this is Mr. Z speculating, right? We don't really know. We can't get in FD's mind. But I would argue, I think his gripe with BGS is he sees BGS as being like this grandmaster moving pieces on the chessboard. Number one. Number two, much of what BGS knows is self-taught. BGS is an autodidact. Number three is because BGS also exposes BFF, right? And FD knows it's true. He knows it's real, right? And his issue, once again, with the Black Manosphere is our quote unquote tone, right? Our tone and delivery, our tone and delivery. Uh-oh. And Calvin says FD is caping for the Ebony Williams class that for real can't come back to black men. Yes and no, because I think he got an issue with them too. He kind of admitted to us that he had a back and forth with Kim Foster in their private, you know, spaces or whatever, group chat that they're in or whatever they might have each other information, et cetera, et cetera. He kind of admitted that. Actually, he did admit it. Not even kind of. Right. So I would say he has an issue with that class of black women also, but not as much as he has an issue with us. Not as much as an issue with the Black Manosphere, and he wants to tone police us and tell us how we can say things and what we can't say, and right. Fundamentally, I would argue at the end of the day, FD is pretty much telling us that he pretty much did say it. As a matter of fact, he pretty much did say it on Bernard Rowley's stream the second time he was on when Ed checked him. And when Hood Servative checked him. Shout out to Hood Servative, shout out to Edward Anderson. the black community is going to maintain itself as a default matriarchy, not because brothers like FD necessarily like it that way, but because white hegemonic society is always going to put black women above black men to benefit the white patriarchy. And so what he's saying is, hey, we ain't gonna do we can't we look the white patriarchy, we can't really do nothing about that. That's way too that's out of our hands. That's way too strong and big. And they're always going to elevate black women, and by default, the black community is going to be a matriarchy. Right? So black men, you can pretty much do all the hooting and hollering all you want, but y'all gotta understand the black community is gonna be it's gonna maintain itself as a matriarchy. It's gonna still be a matriarchy. And if y'all doubt me, listen to him when he because did he drop off? I want to say did was it him that dropped off or was it Ed that dropped off? And then when Ed came back, he pretty much says it. I'm talking when he was on Bernard Riley's stream the second time. Somewhere in that conversation, he pretty much admits that the black community is a matriarchy. Not that he wants it to be a matriarchy, not that it quote unquote should be a matriarchy, right? He doesn't want it to be a matriarchy or a patriarchy, but it's going to default to matriarchy because white men, right? And John Jones says, thank you for the super chat. Tone, tone these. In other words, when I was speaking about FD wanting us to tone police ourselves, he's saying tone these. Hysterical, right? But I would argue that's what it is. That's what it is. It's tone policing. And he admitted he admitted that he is attempting to tone police us when he was on my channel the first time. And that was my point. I said that the first time, essentially the first time he spoke to me, I pretty much said that the second time. Exactly what Line is saying here. That it's gonna have to burn as a matriarchy. That was me saying, um, you know, these women don't want what y'all selling. Because more than enough black women don't want what they selling. And they don't want that. When you tell them what it look like, they don't want it. And for the ones that do, when you tell them, by the way, black men are saying for the most part, and this is what men in general, I would argue, in the West are saying, if you run it, we're letting all the way go. You can have all of it. We're not playing second fiddle because all men know, man, look, if you have a sister, especially if it's even if she's older than you, but not by much, if you have a sister, if you have a girlfriend, if you have a wife, if you have a baby mama, they talk all that crap. But when ish hits the fan, they don't want no parts of whatever. When you get old enough, if your mom's still alive, when ish hits the fan, they don't want what? Who? Me? Nope. You can have it. FD act like he don't know that. Emphasis on the word act, right? And that's why this can never truly be a matriarchy or even egalitarian, because egalitarian is a lie. It's a mirage. And men know it. You don't get to turn our leadership on with an on and off switch. And that's what the women truly want. And FD know that's what the women truly want. In case of emergency, break glass ass patriarchy. Nope. In case of emergency, break glass male leadership. Nope. Right? This is the proverbial These are my kids and this is my son. And then he turned 13 and he stopped the belt one time and I'm sending you to your daddy. In case of emergency, break glass ass, male leadership, patriarchy. Nope, not doing it. And I think FD's just trying to be here to tell us, yeah, you're going to have to. Let it burn. Right? And Lion says, and thank you for the super chat. Lion says, truth. If it's a man's fault that he can't get a woman he wants to date and or sleep with, it's a woman's fault that she can't get the man she wants to commit to her. Burden of performance. But see, we're in the era of men are the problem, Mr. Lion. See, you're trying to make too much sense. Problem. We're in the era of men are the problem. We're in the era of me and my girlfriends are all kick ass and we're all awesome, and these men are immature and they're dirty and they don't take showers and they're not industrious enough and they don't try hard enough. And remember, we're in the era of that. We're in the era of the math don't math. Most women, if not all women, are kick ass and most men are not. So what does that mean for women? And this is where Mr. Z comes in and says, y'all better get good at saying the alphabets with your tongue and some vagina and on and off switch. Because the math don't math. If most women are kick ass and most men are not, then what does that mean for most women? One, y'all gonna be fighting for the men that y'all think are that kick ass. So top 20%. Really, it's not the top 20, it's way smaller than that. But y'all will settle for top 20. A whole lot of women single with their rose toy. And then a whole lot of women, same-sex loving relationships. Look at that, Mr. Z. You just defined the black community. Well, hey, even FD slipped in the rose. Y'all ain't catch that when he slipped in the rose. He's if you're gonna do your if they're gonna be straight when if they're gonna date their homegirl or their girlfriend, or if they're gonna do the rose thing, he slipped that in. He slipped that smooth in the conversation. He know. I told you he's not dumb. He might have an agenda, but he's not dumb. Even he slipped in the rose toy. Date the rose. Yeah, exactly. Date the rose. Exactly. I made Lion laugh. He said, I like that. Learn the alphabet with your tongue on each other. Exactly. And Chell said, I caught him. Right? He slipped out. Look, man. Hey, look. Shout out to all you brothers in the DMV area. Shout out to all you brothers in Atlanta. Y'all know what, especially the ones that are around these upwardly mobile black women. Y'all know what it is, man. And shout out to some of us in working class areas and some of us that's still in the hood. What are the hood sisters that's doing the same thing? The hood sisters just want to practice negative liberty, and the sisters on the top, well, they want to practice negative liberty too, and they don't think black men are on their level, and the white men ain't checking. Guess what? Now they got a girlfriend. There you go. And you saw how he jumped off the topic when I started walking him deeper and deeper into the water. He jumped off the topic because he know. I told y'all I had a conversation with a young lady years ago, and I asked her, why do you think so many black women are same-sex loving? It's because we love, and we just think about it differently, and we feel different, and we just open to loving everyone, and black women are the most same-sex loving group of people in America, and y'all think it's because you're so open to love, and oh boy. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I ain't even burst her bubble. I ain't saying nothing else. Oh man. Right. Mr. Shook to you, I promise you sometimes look, y'all can even ask Mr. Z's younger sister. Y'all can ask my lady. I'll be saying this. I'm like, forget 80%. Mr. Shook, let me skip over. I'm gonna get back to the other super chats. But Mr. Shook to you says, imagine 80% of men disappearing, leaving the top 20%. Mr. Shook to you, I be having these dreams sometimes where I'm like, I wish I could Thanos snap all black men. We would go to like a different planet and like train up and like think of for those of us Dragon Ball Z heads, think of like what is it called? Like the not the cryo chamber. What is the little thing that they train in and then it like it changes like a day into a year and they train in there and whatever. I would like transport us away. I would transport all black men. Every black man from like I don't even get like Logic. Like Logic looks white, but he's mixed black, right? From Logic all the way to the darkest skinned black man in America. All the African brothers, y'all can stay. But if you're African and you're America, you're out of here. I would transport every single last one of us out of here for at least a good decade. But black women wouldn't know that, and nobody else would know it'd be a decade. And I would love to see how black women cope with black men not being here. All these swirlers and divestors, all these black women in luxury, all these black women level up, all these black women, black men ain't ish. Even gay black men. I'm not gonna leave the gay black men neither. Nope. All black men out of here. And I would just love to see how America copes with that, but definitely black women. Oh, the carnage. Lion said, is there a gym? Time chamber. Thank you, I move. Time chamber. Right? I would love to see how black women all of this. The world would be better if there were in black men. All of these, black men are the issue. Abort black male babies. All of these type of black women. Oh, you imagine your baby mama waking up and realizing you're not in the bed. Okay, yeah, he probably in the restroom. Then she finally really wake up 2 hours, 3 hours later, realize you're not there. What the hell? Where did he go? Right? Blowing up your phone, ain't no connection. You ain't even on the planet. Right? Then she walk outside and then she realized her neighbor across the street is walking outside too, another black female neighbor, and wait a minute, what? And then, hey, you know, it's the craziest part when the whole country realizes what in the entire hell, black men then disappeared. Right? And for the first time, let me tell you what would happen. You think most black women would be celebrating? Like no black woman would be celebrating. Even the black men ain't ish black women wouldn't be celebrating. A handful of lesbian black women would be celebrating. That's it. The fear that would fall on black women. Oh, the fear. You want to talk about some of all fears? The fear. Very recent. Imagine Boo Keisha wants candy. Right? The fear. When black women fight, when they, oh my God, these Negroes aren't here. Uh, make it crazier because I done played this thing out in my mind a million times. Even black women that are pregnant with black boys, the second the black boy come out the womb, right to the planet we at. Don't worry, we got all the milk and all the other stuff and whatever. Whoever his father was gonna be, he's going right to him. Oh, Mr. Z done played this out of his mind before. If you got a black girl, if you're pregnant with a black girl, yeah, you can still have her. She'll still be here with you. Black boy, boom, the second, right out. Giants in straight anarchy. Right? You imagine? Y'all think them Asian dudes is beating up on y'all in them hair salons now? You think the DJ Diplos and the DJ Popes is running amok now? Right? You think so? Huh? You think Karen is talking to y'all all type of crazy now? You think the male Karens are talking to you crazy now? I am Whoops and Themis gotta stay here, bro. Nope. I said all. Yes, even Themis. Right? There's a reason for that. Not a single black man. Y'all better start importing them from Africa, right? In the Caribbean. Every black man in America, if you look, like I said, everybody from Logic all the way across to the darkest dark skin, midnight, dark purple, blue, all the insults y'all throw at the dark skin brothers. The darkest charcoal, all the insults, the darkest brother, everyone, all black men, straight, gay, out of all of them. What about the trans? Guess what? No, not the trans. Well, look, if you had the whole surgery, yeah, you stay, yeah, right. Joe said, nigga said Logic. I said all. Even FD, yes, lying. Even FD, right? And there's a reason for that. That, hey, and we would have like, we would still know what's going on Earth. We would have like, we would tap into the cameras and whatever. Mr. Z done played this out. Ask me how the logic work. It don't work. The math, the science, I don't know, right? It don't make no sense. I know it don't make no sense, right? But we would still be able to tap in. They just couldn't tap into where we at. They don't even know where we at. And we'd be, look at the anarchy, like Lion said, complete pandemonium. I'm telling you, all that crap black women talk. You know the fear that would befall them, right? Jesse Williams type too. Yeah, Jesse Williams type because Logic look white, so we got to include Jesse Williams. The fear. Now, don't ask me about our sex drive and all that other stuff. I ain't think that far. I ain't think that far, right? Probably. I don't know how true this is. Maybe someone that was in the military could tell me this. But is it true? Like they give y'all something to like turn that off? I don't know how true that is, but someone, you know, it might be some old, conspiracy theory or wives' tale or whatever, right? But yeah, um, yeah, just so that these people could actually have what they say they want, right? Salt, pepper. Okay, so it might be true. Okay, okay, okay. I'm upset. I know Magic City closing down, right? Yeah, right. Look, I done went off all on a tangent with that. Just let y'all know sometimes Mr. Z and Mr. Shook to you, Mr. Shook to you, Mr. Z done played it out in his mind before. And like there are people like Mr. Z's lady, like some of you brothers and your girlfriends and your wives and your mothers who would genuinely be sad because they were not. I'm sorry that we gotta have casualties because there are some black women, some right, that don't hate black men. They don't talk like this. They don't feel like this, but they gotta feel it for the ones that do. Sorry. And for them they would be truly heartbroken and depressed and oh my god my husband and right, my man, and etc etc. True, true. And for all the other ones that was talking crap, well, I ain't even care about these black men anyway. Oh crap, my brother. Uh-oh. Right. I'm telling y'all. So yeah, I didn't thought about that, but Mr. Shook to you, that was good. That was a good one. What yeah. If black men disappeared today, and I don't want it to be all men, I don't even want it to be like you said, 80% of them. No, black men in particular disappear from America. That that would be a fascinating sight. All these, I could do battle by myself. All you know what? Too, for all of us that chip off a woman a little 40 here, 50 there, 100 there, 200 here. They don't count that, by the way. Right? Bet you they start counting it when you no longer here, and they can get another black man to do it. Right? Huh? You imagine? I bet you when we just magically appear in a decade, in 15 years, I bet you the act right is gonna be stronger than a mug. I bet you that act right gonna be super strong. All these Adonises popping up. all do all we did was train and go to the gym all day for 10 years straight. Right? Learn advanced math and we'll come back the strongest, smartest people ever in human history. Forget six packs, 8 packs. Everybody walking around here like $1 million men. Joe's Joe's that killed me. Joe said they might nuke the planet just so we can't have it. I'm telling you. Sore loser option. I'm telling you. I'm telling man, I'm telling you, we would come right. Everybody come back looking like Tyson. Looking like Tyson and Jordan, right? PK said 10 packs. Right? Everyone would come back looking like Tyson and Jordan. The fear. The fear. The fear from the cooperation from black women and the fear of everyone else. Wait a minute, they just popped back up. Yeah. Have you seen them? Right? You could grate cheese on those abs. Right? I'm telling you. The cooperation, black women would finally get some act right. I almost said ultra instinct athletes. Right? You imagine Dr. T not having to take away and Keisharize your mind, right? You imagine Dr. T being able to teach you straight Dr. Green Gorilla, right? Armio Say Frimpong. You imagine? No more having to get Steve Perry, right? No more having to get Keisha out the way to get to the boys. You imagine? Jake said social media would be so boring, right? Well, social media for a lot of these people back here, back on Earth, would be boring. That's for sure. Basketball would be boring. Football would be boring. No more cool dances at the end zone, right? There's a whole lot of boring. A whole lot of white rappers reusing black lyrics from rap music. A whole lot white people would all of a sudden rediscover R&B, and now they would be singing offbeat, right? A whole lot of fake John B's running around here, really sounding like Robin Thicke. Jake said no more cool slang, no more new dance moves, right? Hey, black women, y'all get to have, white dudes get to come at y'all without having to worry about us. Aren't y'all happy? Latinos and Asians, aren't y'all happy? Y'all get to have all the mixed kids y'all want now, right? If if we were to disappear, if black men and boy, I mean all black males, period, disappeared from America today and gone for one day, a week, a month, right? A year, 5 years, 10 years. Oh, where would all of the white women, who would they sneak off with now? Y'all want Mrs. Z to make y'all throw up? Where would all the DL white dudes sneak off with who now? Right? Huh? Now what? All black men just gone? No one to base your cool off of, right? No one to look down on. Oh, god damn, Z. Black women, who you gonna condescend to now? Your daughters? Try doing it with the white woman when there's no more black man. Oops. Right? Who are you gonna punch down on now, black women? Lion said, honestly, if y'all put it in another to rebuild, a lot of us might not even want to come back. Right? Calvin said, ooh, damn, but true. I'm saying all the white women and white women and white men and Latinas and Latinos, who you gonna cheat on your husband with and your wife with now? Ain't no more black men, right? It's funny because it's true. Who is everyone gonna gawk at now? Right? And that's a real question. Who is everyone gonna gawk at now and be like, God, what? When there's no longer a LeBron James for people to be like, this dude could have been in any sport. He would have been a monster in just about any sport. If there's no more LeBron, then who do we say? God, nigga, right? If there's no more Usain Bolt, right? If there was no more Iverson, cross up anyone. What happened to your ankles? I don't know. Calvin, stop it, stop it. Calvin said you still have the WNBA. That's the anyway. Would you wait a minute? Wait. Would you still have the WNBA? Who funds the WNBA? Is it not the NBA? And if there's no black men playing for the NBA, then what happens to the WNBA? So you see what I'm saying? Iverson was out there breaking everybody's ankles. Sure, you're not supposed to be instigating and helping me with the jokes. You're supposed to throw up. And Trell says they want Jamal to taste the rainbow, but Brad just trying to get some chocolate in his peanut butter. Trell, you sure you wasn't in the military? Because only my military friends, when you go there, they go further. They're like, all right. I wasn't trying to go all the way there. You try to make them throw up, they make you throw up, right? Exactly. And Z Better You says, yep, WNBA is funded by the NBA. They have never made a profit thus far. That's a good one. And I am Wolf says, Mr. Z, WNBA got the NBA on child support. Yeah, or alimony. All right. So that was a good one, Mr. Shook to you, because I've thought about this before, right? I've I thought about this, and I thought about what it would mean for black men and black boys to finally have a respite, right? A respite from all the effery, right? It's after 10 o'clock. We use profanity. A respite from all the fuckery, where we could teach each other, right? And pause, right? Where we could love each other, where we could train with each other, and then come back, and then because if you think black, listen, if we were to return and we still ain't get no cooperation from black women, then they're indestructible. Ain't no way, right? But I guarantee you we would. And like the brother said, they might nuke. They might nuke America. Wait a minute, they done came back. Have you seen them? All of these dudes are fast. They're all strong. They're all smart. You imagine black men teaching black boys and other black men across the board. You have a scholar who's also good with tools, who also could damn near build you a house from scratch. You imagine? And you don't have one or two of these, shout out to Charles Faulkner Jr., multifaceted black men. All black men that came back to America were these men. You imagine? Not 1%, not 5%, not 10, all of them, right? Hey, Mr. Shook to you. After 10 years, there is no more allegiance. See, Compassionate said Wakanda wouldn't have ish on us, shit on us. Exactly, exactly. You imagine Neil deGrasse Tyson being able to teach your son, right? Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, Dr. Green Gorilla being able to teach your son. That's crazy. That man. Lines it'll be the Avengers Endgame. I really do think that they might nuke the whole thing. Look, we ain't giving it to black men, right? Pretty much we would come back and make Barack Obama's presidency look like a joke because we're all pretty much constitutional lawyers. Oops. What would America do with that? Right? When black men come back and pretty much all of them are presidential level. So from 47 on, 46 and on, it's just all of these men are presidential level. Now what? Right? And then you have, rest in peace, Colin Powell. You have a Colin Powell type brother, or even the brother that's head of Joint Chiefs of Staff right now, right? And he's teaching you military science, man. Look, you imagine? Like I said, Green Gorilla, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Dr. Tommy Curry, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, Amiose Frimpong, right? I can't even recall the name of the brother that's head of the military right now. It's his face is right there, and like I'm blanking on his name. But him, you imagine? We would be a problem. We would be a problem. But shout out to black women who got to deal with. You imagine? Y'all want the black community? Here, you can have it. Lloyd Austin, thank you, KW Don. Lloyd Austin, right? You imagine? And here's the thing: nobody knows whether we're gonna be back or when we're coming back. No one. So it'll just be day after day for black women. Walking into that office with no black man. That mean no gay black man that you go to lunch with. Nope. That you talk crap with. Nope. Have fun with the white girls and the Latinas and whoever. Right. Just in that office. Y'all feel like y'all in the office by yourself? Oh no, y'all really gonna be in that office by yourself now. Right. Hey, y'all want the black community? You can have it. Essentially, in common sense, we talking BGSing all young black men. Absolutely not. In common sense, can we write home to mama? Nope. Nobody knows if we even still exist. That's what I'm saying. Like, just gone. Right? No one knows whether we exist. Nobody knows where we are. They don't know if we're coming back. Just gone. Right? Compassionate said, put something in our water, they'd rather die than see us grow like that. Oh man, you imagine black men return back to America. 20 some odd million of us. The boys and the men, just the smartest, sharpest, hammer when we need to be, scalpel when we need to be, men ever in human history. Essentially, and I'm Whoops and Mr. Z trying to instant transmission us out of here, right? You imagine the fear. I try to institute Jim Crow again. Look, look, look. We can't have these Negroes out here. Look, look. The women is gonna be all on them. They're gonna be running things. We look. We can't do it. Where's the ray guns? Tell Elon hurry up with the ray guns. Right? I'm telling you. Look. Yeah. We're all astronaut level. Yeah. These people. Look. 10, 15 years. Just return. Like I said, built, athletic, intelligent. Right? No, but yeah, I've definitely considered this before, Mr. Shook to you. I've definitely, yeah, I played this scenario out in my mind so many times. What, and shout out to black women. I don't know how y'all would cope. I mean, for many of you, you think it would be a walk in the park and it'd be beautiful. Maybe, maybe, maybe not. Right? For some of you, you think it would be great. Hey, look, black men are no longer here. This is great. Maybe, right? Now white men don't gotta fear black men anymore, and Latinos don't gotta fear black men anymore, and right? Yeah, and everybody would be dancing in the streets. Black men are gone, except for black women, right? No more child support, hey, because the black boys are who they need to be with their fathers. Ooh, goddamn. Quite frankly, the girls need to be with their fathers too, but sorry, Toya, you would have to be out here just with black women and everybody else in America. Toya said, I'm taking my ass to Africa or to the Caribbean, right? Yeah. And John Jones says, and thank you for the super chat, community fell as a matriarchy equal blame black men. Of course. Now, these people will admit that the black men are not patriarchs. They will say a black man, and more and more we're hearing this. Black men are effeminate. We're going back to like this colonial rhetoric of black men as being effeminate, which is kind of how slavers spoke of the black community. Like the black community is a female race, right? Black people are a female race of people, right? A feminine race of people. White society is a masculine race of people. And you hear some black women kind of speaking this way more and more. which is interesting because once again, as you said, community fell as matriarchy, blame black men. But why are we blaming black men when we're saying black men are losers? When we're saying the black community is run by black women, so how do we blame black men for not being the leaders of the black community? What? Calvin said, do we have to take Pookie and Ray Ray too? Yep. All black men. Don't worry. 10, 15 years, they won't be Pookie anymore. Shit. They won't be Pookie after the first week. Right? Right? Within the first week, maybe for the hardest core ones of them, within the first month, hey, ain't no more Pookies. When the uncles and the fathers and the disciplinarians are there, who's going to be Pookie? Where's the Pookie? When you can't hide behind your mom anymore, who's the Pookie? Right? When black men decide how black men have to deal with punishment and discipline and right where it's not harsh for the sake of being harsh because you're black, but it's not soft because we're trying to pander to you. Oh no, yeah, ain't no more Pookies. Right? Where the punishment actually fits the infraction. Because we're not just trying to hit you over the head just because you're black or just because you're a black man. But at the same time, we're not necessarily going to coddle you either. Yeah, ain't no more Pookies. Like I said, return back to Earth, all Nubian gods. Right? Built like all you did was go to the gym all day. Right? Do you imagine if it was mandatory to do at least an hour in the gym every day, or at least 5 times a week, an hour, hour and a half in the gym? Then it was mandatory to run, let's say, mile and a half in 15 or less minutes, 14, let's say. And this is something that you're doing every day for maybe an hour, just up and down. Then you have your studies, or vice versa. Let's say you have your studies, then you have to do this. And this is for like all adult black men. Let's say we lower the requirements a little bit for the kids under the age of, let's say, 13, 12, right? Or you prorate it. Hey, before the age of 10, you got to be able to do this. Then when you're 15, we raise it up to this. Then when you're 20, we raise it up to this, and it stay that. Mr. Shukti, you said somebody get that comic book in motion, right? Man, I'm telling y'all, look. Yeah, I done played this scenario out in my mind. Mr. Shukti, you stepped on a landmine with that one because I played this scenario out in my mind multiple times. I done went way off the topic with this one. Talk about BGS drift, right? So yeah, yo, look, we already an hour and a half in. I done went way off the topic. Shout out to Obsidian. Um, and I'm still listening in to the video I linked in the description with the Turkish German woman, Turkish but raised in Germany, and or at least was in Germany, maybe. Okay, anyway, married to a brother, and I guess she went back and black women got on her because DL Hughley posted a video of her speaking about like relationships, and then black women started what same thing they did with the women who were in relationships with black men overseas. Same thing they did with the passport bros. Black women and I let's digress. Let's get into to let's get back to this real quick. Look, I said it before. Black women really have an issue with people telling them, "Are you sure you want to be that loud about your disdain for black men?" And when non-black women say that, black women always feel the need to do the you don't got to deal with black men the way we got to deal with them. Translation: y'all get the good black men because black men are colorists and sexist and futurists and da 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 da. Right? We have to deal with the loser black men that have no choice but to be with black women. This is what they tell themselves. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Um, and so you saw this with Lonnie Love when Jeannie Mai or when what's her name, Adrian, I think, would say something about how she's kind of going a little too far with this black men ain't ish type of trope. Um, or when they're speaking positively about black men, her energy was always, yeah, y'all don't got the black, y'all are not darker skinned, heavy set black women with this type of nose. So you get black men that treat y'all like the women that y'all are. I get black men. Well, I don't get the black men that y'all get, essentially, which is the same type of energy. The what did Obsidian say her name was? Oh, he said her name. He said her name. Something Tiffany from Chicago. Tiffany from Chicago, right? And which is the same energy this black woman Tiffany from Chicago was given the Turkish woman, which what was her name? Oh, I forgot her name. I forgot the Turkish lady's name. My apologies. Yeah, but yeah. So this is something that we find, and notice I'm not saying swirlers or divestors. I'm not being very specific about the type of black woman. No, this is something that you hear from multiple different type of black women whenever excuse me, whenever the topic of non-black women speaking positively about black men or defending black men from black women's pathology of black men, or pathologizing, better yet, of black men. Yes, Miss Brooks, right? That's the name of that's the Turkish lady's last name. Um, yeah, and so black. What you find oftentimes is that there's going to be a black woman that says, "Well, you don't got to deal with black men the way we got to deal with black men, so shut up. You don't got to go through what we got to go through with black men, so shut up. You're not a black woman, so shut up." Soraya, thank you, Soraya. Thank you, Jake. And thank you, Calvin, Miss Brooks, Miss Soraya Brooks. Right. So um I know that the women engage in this. So Mr. Z is I I want us to be a bit careful with including non-black people and having them speak on our behalf. I know that black women engage in this. Mr. Z knows. I know they like dragging on some white dude, if they can, a Latino dude, um, but definitely white dude, to come and shake their finger at us, and wag their finger at us and tell us how we're not real men, or you can't speak for me and other white men, right? So I know they love pulling out a Vincent LeBeau to try to lecture black men about what real manhood and masculinity is. I understand. I would still caution us just a little bit. And this is no slight on um Miss Soraya. But I would still caution us in engaging in what black women engage in, right? And that's all I'll say about that. I would still be a bit careful on having non-black women speak on our behalf, defend us, or definitely defend their husband. Absolutely, definitely, definitely, right? But going back and forth with black women. But didn't I say, wait a minute, Z, wait a minute, Skirt, wait a minute, wait. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Did or did not Mr. Z tell y'all eventually you're gonna have black women saying black men ain't ish, and you're gonna have non-black women saying, why do y'all hate black men so much? Are you sure about that? Are you sure it's not just you? Now, this is still not all the way what I was saying, but we're getting there, right? Did I not? By the way, black women, y'all are so loud about your contempt for black men that black, non-black women who are in relationship with black men, you gotta know eventually they're gonna say something. Dear black women, your contempt, your anger, your rage at black men, and you can only keep on pulling that. You're not a black woman, so you don't understand. You can only do that for so long, right? And still, I'm saying it's gonna get worse with that, right? Because black, non-black women who are with black men, you're talking about their husbands, and you're actually talking about them. Black women be sneak dissing a whole lot of people. I don't know if y'all realize y'all be sneak dissing a whole lot of people. Shout out to Obsidian, like he said, y'all calling them dirty foot, y'all calling their husbands sellout, right? And unlike what y'all say when y'all go over there, we're saying we actually want to be loved, and we want not to come home and argue, and we want a woman that cooks maybe, and we want a woman that we're not trying to, like I said earlier, like I said before, we're not trying to come home to Hyena Clan. Y'all were mocking fit, feminine, and friendly. We're actually trying to come home to a woman who's fit, feminine, and friendly. It ain't like how y'all talk about stuff. Y'all boil these white men down to walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs. Y'all don't even speak about them like they're excuse me. Y'all don't even speak about them like they're human beings. That's not how y'all speak about non-black men, right? So yeah. So the Miss Soraya Brooks, um, getting flamed by black women, but quite frankly, dear black, what you thought? You're talking about women like her husband, and your response is, y'all don't got to deal with black men the way we got to deal with black men. Y'all don't got to essentially go through things with these type of Negroes the way we do, right? And essentially, what y'all really saying is, y'all get the good ones. Yeah, they sellouts, but y'all get the good ones. Y'all get the upwardly mobile ones, right? We're stuck here with the losers that don't got no choice, right? And Jake says, the women who need men comment from light skinned sister from New Jersey. I did not know that was a thing. Right? Wow. Well, black women be everyone been hearing you say you don't need no man, and even though everybody hears y'all on the yep, I'm not saying these other non-black women are not on the white penis chase too. Y'all just so goddamn loud about it, so everybody hear y'all on that need also, right? Y'all are just too blatant, too flagrant. That's all, right? So on that note, we'll pause right here. Like I said hi because I had to shout myself out because Obsidian was saying that he's been listening to FD kind of traverse and speak to different people in the Black Manosphere, and I'm like me, hi, right? Um, so I had to shout myself out, and but I understand. Number one, number two, this was me speaking about why I think, and why my speculation on why FD is here. Shout out to Compassionate. He is 100% correct. FD is also here to run ahead of us and essentially disparage us to anyone that might be interested. Right. So there's that part also. And as a matter of fact, let's do this because I wouldn't be able to see it from there. Let me see something. Give me 1 second. Okay, I just want to click that early. All right. All right. And on that note, everyone, we will pause right there. Mr. Shukti, thank you for letting me go into my thought experiment. Because I've thought about that a million times. Like, what would happen if black men just disappeared, right? We didn't die. We didn't all die. We didn't, go into the afterlife or whatever. We just, unbeknownst to everyone who wasn't us, we just got transported to a different plane or a different planet for 10 to 15 years, but they didn't know when we were coming back. So for them we just disappeared and they don't know. um no letters, no nothing, just snap, gone. um and I've considered what that would mean for us and what that would mean for the rest of America and what that would mean for black women and black girls, right? Yeah, I clicked it. I'm with. I clicked it. That's exactly what I paused to do just a minute ago. Right. So, yeah. Thank you. Exactly, Calvin, and that's what I'm saying. And shout out to the Raj report. This is what the Raj report says, right? And Calvin says they had first choice and said they was broken dusty. Well, right. And when you fumble the bag that much, then so be it. And ending out, shout out to Obsidian for for what he said. Like, yo, these women, they want opulence, and that's what we saw on excuse me, on Kevin Samuel's show night after night. These women want opulence. They're not trying to do 50-50, which is understandable. They're not trying to have that. They want opulence. Right? So, hey, I guess what they're saying is if they can't have opulence, then they're okay with the rose toy, and which is funny, and they're okay with same-sex loving relationships where they still don't have the opulence. What? That's the fascinating part. Once again, the black tax, the black man tax. White men don't gotta play the black man tax. Latino men don't gotta play the black man tax. Other black women don't have to play the black man tax. And of course, the rose toy doesn't have to play the black man tax. Right? The black man tax. You're a black man, so for me to not be a complete and total a-hole, um, you got to be a baller. But everybody else, not so much. Insane. All right, everyone. We'll pause right here. Truly, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great rest of your night. Um, y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Thank you, Mr. Shook, to you for allowing me to go into my thought experiment that I've thought about a zillion times. Um, with your comment. And on that note, everyone, we will close out, and y'all have a great, great, great rest of your night. Mr. Z out.